All right, everybody. Welcome and thank you for coming. Welcome to the Lake Bluff School District Board of Education regular meeting for April 22nd, 2014. And in fact, we're going to begin with our public hearing for the amended budget for 2013-2014. Christine, can we please have a roll call?
Mike Berry.
Present.
Leanne Charlotte.
Present.
Julie Gotcho.
Present.
Richard Haig.
Here.
Chris Latimer here. John Morosen.
Present.
Susan Wright.
Present.
All present and accounted for. We have a quorum, and we'll go right to our first agenda item, which is the public hearing for amended budget for 2013 and 2014. And I'm going to let Jean and Jane Lair set that up for us.
And I'm going to turn it over to Jane Lair to talk to you about our amended budget.
Okay, we are amending our fiscal year 14 budget, as you recall, primarily due to the action that we took in November to transfer $5.75 million from the education fund to the debt service fund and subsequently made payment for their existing debt. We're also incorporating into this amended budget a $60,000 payment to the Park District and some action later this evening. The budget has been on display for 30 days as required by law, and this is the opportunity for public to speak towards the budget.
So it's largely a procedural requirement to anytime we tweak the budget, we've got to go through this.
To amend the budget, we follow the exact same procedures as we adopted the initial budget last September. So the budget is on public display for 30 days. We have a hearing on the equipment input before it takes final action.
And we have to keep it open, and we can't start a regular meeting till 7 because that's what we were posted at.
Does anybody on the board have any questions, comments, or concerns about the amended budget?
Pretty sure we've discussed it ad nauseum, Mr. President.
Dr. Rubenstein, could you do me a favor and go down and unlock the conference room up downstairs? I forgot.
It's part of your new duties.
But you know,
And when you get back, we'll ask you the budget
You know-
questions.
hold that education to lock the door.
Serious, please. Can I have a motion to adjourn the budget hearing?
So moved.
And second, all in favor of adjourning this budget hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This budget hearing is adjourned, and we will return at 7 o'clock for our regular meeting.
Uh,
Welcome again, everybody. Thank you for coming. We're going to reopen our regular meetings, so welcome to the Lake Bluff Board of Education regular meeting for April 22nd, 2014. And Christine, if you please call roll call.
Mark Baird.
Present.
Leanne Charlo.
Present.
Julie Gottschall.
Present.
Richard Haig.
Present.
Kristen Letching, present. John Morozen.
Present.
Susan Ryder.
Present.
All present and accounted for, so we have a quorum, we can begin. And we've already had our public hearing. We're going to move on to agenda item 4, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'd all please rise and join me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And as we do in every meeting, we offer the opportunity for anybody from the public, if they'd like to address the board, to please do so now and step to the mic and make your say, have your say. And if nobody would like to do that, we will also offer the opportunity to address the board at the end of the meeting, if anything during our agenda piques your interest. If you'd like to address the board, don't hesitate to email us or get in touch with us through our contact information on the internet. Okay. Yep. So we're going to start with some recognition of students. And I'm going to ask Mr. Blackmer, the principal of the middle school, to bring Mr. Jaxie, I believe, to the front to recognize a student.
Thank you very much. I am going to turn things over right to Mr. Jackson. He's going to talk a little bit about the student that's here to be recognized this evening. So without any further ado, Mr. Jaxie.
Thank you. Good evening. Tonight we're here to recognize Max, G, and Georgie. Max, if you don't mind coming up and standing up here with me. Max competed in a contest called You Be the Chemist. It's a national contest sponsored by chemical companies such as Dow Chemical and Honeywell. The local sponsor in our area is UOP, based in Des Plaines. And they have state contests in over 30 states now. And it started about 10 years ago as a program to get more students interested in the sciences and to showcase their abilities through contests. Here at Lake Bluff, this was our first year competing in the contest. I was exposed to it last year as a teacher at Joseph Sears School in Kenilworth and thought it was a great idea. And when I had the opportunity to return to Lake Bluff this year, brought the contest back with me. What happens in the science classes, every student at Lake Bluff Middle School took a qualifying test. It was multiple choice, featured a lot of questions rich in chemistry and lab safety and the physical sciences. The highest 4 students, regardless of grade, qualified for the local tournament, which we held at Lake Bluff right before our spring break. In the contest, there are 5 rounds where kids are eliminated at the end of each round based on their scores. And Max made it all the way to the final round. Our other students did well. 2 of them made it to the semifinal round. As a result, Max is going to move on to the state contest this upcoming weekend at North Central College in Naperville, where he'll compete against students from all over the state of Illinois, and the winner will go on to the national contest held in June. So I'd really like to give a warm congratulations to Max for studying, preparing well, and representing Lake Bluff.
Hello, my name is Max. I just want to say thank you for Mr. Jaxie for setting up the You Be the Chemist competition, and Mr. Blackmer for allowing it, and all you guys. I just gotta say thank you very much, and yeah.
Well, good luck. Do you think this is a competition that's worthwhile for us to bring back next year?
Yes, because it definitely gives I guess an incentive to pay attention and stuff in science class. I know not every kid does all the time, but and also it helps like bring the competitive spirit to Lake Bluff, and not just social studies and language arts with the spelling bee and the GOB. Yes.
Has this changed your idea with regard to your future, what you want to do?
Not really. I don't know what I want to do yet.
Neither do I, so don't feel bad.
And are you preparing for your competition? And if so, how do you do that?
Yeah, I'm preparing for it. Right now I'm reading through the packet and highlighting things that are important in my opinion to study, or that I think is that I guess a teacher would pick out during a test, and then write them down on note cards and try to go through it and see if I can get them all.
So how many hours have you invested in preparing for the contest?
I haven't kept count of how many. I guess probably 24 hours, maybe more.
Okay.
Have you learned anything new or really interesting?
Yes, I learned a lot about moles, anions, cations, acids and bases, and all other kinds of stuff in chemistry.
Max, you're obviously a very high achiever. Are you still being challenged?
Yes, but I think I've only really been challenged a lot in 8th grade mostly, but in most of the other, I guess, grades, I've been succeeding fairly easily and not without too much difficulty.
Yeah, that's a concern of mine.
Max, you go to math over at the high school, right? How's I know this is off topic, but how's that going for you?
That's been going very well. I think I'm glad with my grade, I guess. It's pretty easy. It's not easy, but I guess it's definitely challenging, and it's fun to do in the morning.
We would really like to know how he does at the competition, so
Yeah.
maybe if you could let Mr. Blackmer know, and then I can get the word out, because I'll
Text
send a
us.
quick email to the board too.
Yeah, we'll provide
I'll
that.
tweet it, right?
We'll tweet it out.
Let you know with the details. The contest is on Sunday, so we'll let you know.
Well, good luck.
Early next week.
Good luck, thank you for coming tonight.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Max. I know he just did an amazing job representing Lake Bluff Middle School. Thank you for doing it, Mr. Jackson. Thank you very much for putting the chemist competition together and allowing Lake Bluff Middle School to host. We were hosting for all of Lake County, and it's certainly something that is of great value and something we hope to do again next year.
So the finals, where are they being held?
The finals are being held again.
North Central College in Naperville.
Thank you, North Central College in Naperville.
And how many kids will participate in the finals?
I think they had 4 qualifiers from each of the regionals, and there were 5 or 6 regionals, so 24 and I think that only the top 1 individual from Illinois qualifies for that.
And it's all quantitative testing, the final result?
A lot of multiple choice answers. They respond remotely. They have an answer. They have 10-15 seconds to answer, and when they click in their answer, and then it automatically tabulates who scored enough points to advance in the following rounds.
So it's like a Jeopardy kind of.
Exactly, and it's interactive. It's not all quiet and pencil and paper, but the kids, some are computational where they have extended time to write, and some are more fact-based, whether they can identify a certain trend or something to that degree.
Did you check out the competition, Matt? Yeah. Max, did they look good, or how do you feel?
Sorry.
I was just joking. If you checked out the competition, does it look stiff? Does it look strong?
I haven't checked out. Hopefully I'm going to do okay.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Well, and this is one thing, these kinds of clubs, next year we will be bringing in Odyssey of the Mind. We'll be doing You Be the Chemist again. We're looking at a Lego club for the elementary school, and possibly another type of competitive competition at the middle school next year. So we're really looking at expanding the opportunities for our kids.
Was Mathletes was one?
Mathletes, Math Counts is also another one. So there's all kinds of opportunities, and we'll need sponsors staff-wise, but also parent-wise. And so I think it's going to be some exciting things coming up. And we get very inspired hearing about stories like you.
That's very cool. Okay, we're gonna move on to item 7, which is our reports. We're gonna start with our PTO report, and I think we have Kate Amaral here tonight to represent PTO. Thanks, Max. Good luck.
I'm stepping in for Ann Stewart. She had a family emergency, so she sent me some notes. Hopefully I'll read them accurately. The Swing and Soiree was a big success. It was held March 1st at the Lake Forest Club. Artwork from every classroom at LBS was auctioned off, along with sports memorabilia, a dinner for 8 in Innovasi, wonderful baskets of merchandise and local merchants, and much more. The net profit from the event is looking to exceed $30,000. The PTO thanks Carrie Ann Rice and Eva Rice for chairing the event. Curricular enhancement programs at LBES and LBMS continue to be a success. In the last month, we had 2 different science programs come, one to LBES and one to LBMS. Every year, the PTO goes through an audit, and every year it's come back clean. Again, this year, we had a great audit, and a copy of that will be left in the district office if anyone cares to peruse it. LBES will be hosting a spring book fair on May 1st and 2nd in the art room. All students need to be reminded to bring money in to buy books for summer reading. Next school year, the PTO is partnering with the Lake Forest Bookstore for all of our book fairs. The bookstore has the ability to offer titles from other publishers, and with the goal of continuing to entice Lake Bluff students and family members to read. On the topic of reading, something that came out of the summer reading program we did a couple years ago was the idea of the birdhouse libraries. We wanted to get books into the hands of all of our students, including the District 65 students that don't have access to the public library. So we came up with the idea of these birdhouse libraries that you've seen in other communities. We are excited to say that the first one went up in the vacant lot that used to be East School. We partnered with the Park District, and we're looking to put a birdhouse library in each of the parks, and hopefully those will be up in May. And again, the goal is to provide free books to any and all community members. Feel free to take a book, bring a book back when you're done with it. Just a neat thing for the community. May 1st, the PTO is hosting a welcome party for all incoming kindergarten parents. We hope this gives families that are new to the school a chance to meet one another and ask questions of those who are seasoned in the district. Lastly, we are filling positions for next year. Anyone that is interested in becoming involved with the PTO is welcome to contact Ann Stewart at Anne.Stewart, STEWART, 2 @yahoo.com. That's it.
And you can probably link to her through the PTO website if you don't remember the, right?
Yes,
If you
it's on
remember
the website as well.
Kate, are the birdhouses for all ages or just for kids?
For all ages. We're initially stocking them with books that we have from our scholastic book fairs and things like that, but people can put books in there for young kids as well as adults.
Okay, good. Thanks. Sounds like fun.
Thank you. We're going to move on to now the Lake Bluff Elementary School Principal Report, and that will be Joanne Trahanas.
Good evening. Thank you. LBS has been very busy since the last board meeting. We hosted a K-2 family math game night, in which 40 families attended that night. A special thanks to Wendy Krieger and Jen Crosman for hosting that, and it was a big success, and a lot of enthusiastic students and parents were there. We also had a very successful second grade fine art show and choir concert, and I forgot to check with Nate, but I believe this is one that Mr. Deasy accompanied the choir on the clarinet, is that right?
That's right.
On the clarinet, so he came to the concert and helped out the students, and we really appreciated that. Our fifth graders had presentations and discussions with the speakers from JFK Health World. 2 topics were discussed: getting along with each other, and then the boy talk and girl talk, which is about puberty and all the wonderful things that accompany that time of your life. We hosted kindergarten screening, and I want to take this time, first of all, kudos to Kevin for setting up, working with the kindergarten teachers and some of the specialists to set up a wonderful early screening for the kindergarten students who are registered, which in the past has had to wait till the first couple of days of school. And as we complete these, we'll have another round. When the kindergartners enter, we can start with the education right away. And it was a wonderful process and ran very smoothly. So thank you, and thanks to all the kindergarten teachers as well. Our 4th and 5th graders attended the very entertaining production Danny at LBMS. We want to extend our congratulations to the musical cast, crew, the teacher leaders of this fantastic production. Many of the students returned talking about wanting to be in the show in the future. So that's a big part of why we take them there, to get them enthusiastic about going to LBMS. We also hosted Aaron Reynolds, the author of Chicks and Salsa and many other books, for an author talk. All the K-5 students had presentations by him, age-appropriate presentations by him. What made the event even more special is we tied it in with our Read With Me, so students from Highland Park and Waukegan came and were able to see the author with their reading buddies. And that was a huge success. And right now we're into map testing underway for grades 2 through 5. And that's it for this month. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Joanne.
Now we move on to the middle school and Mr. Nate Blackmer.
All right, good evening again. As Joanne already mentioned, the musical this year was just an outstanding success. Wanted to congratulate again all of our students involved, the cast, the crew, thank the staff. There's too many of them to thank tonight, but I did put them in my publications that were sent out earlier this week. We had about 12 staff members involved in helping to support the kids. And one thing that I like to emphasize is that, you know, you come to a musical production and you see those folks up on stage who are acting and singing. There's about 2 for every one you see on stage that is also involved in the musical, whether it be set design or hair and makeup, the parking crew, lights and sound. It's a neat opportunity for kids to get involved in something that's a passion of theirs, even if they're not excited about being on stage and performing before their peers. And of course, those who do get excited about that do an amazing job, and it's great that they have an opportunity to do that. So thank you to the parents as well. We had a huge army of parents who, with sewing machines and muscles, helped us to put the whole thing together. So it really was a great all-around effort. Also wanted to mention, springtime brings also a new round of drills. So we have gone through our severe weather drill. That was back on April 9th. Our students did an outstanding job. Just a little over 1 minute to reach all of their shelter locations within the building. I run around with my stopwatch and make sure we're right there. It may have been a little less. I just couldn't run to all the locations in the time that it required. I worked on it. Also, we had our fire drill yesterday. That went very well. We missed the raindrops. Evacuated the whole building in 1 minute and 21 seconds. Wanted to mention that last Friday marked the midway point for the 3rd trimester. And we're trying something new for this 3rd trimester. We've taken Power School Parent Access down for this week while teachers are working on the comments that will be available to parents on Friday as well as students on Friday. And as opposed to printing up the midterm reports, we're working this midterm to make them available electronically. And the weekly updates that went out provided parents with details in case they haven't already logged into Power School on how to go ahead and do that, or how to request a username and password if they haven't done that. The goal being that going forward, our midterms as well as our report cards will be available to parents electronically. And certainly those username and passwords are not only going to be beneficial for accessing grades, it's also going to be the same username and password that'll work toward the school registration system. So it'll be something that parents will need to have on hand anyway. Things to look forward to. Friday, May 3rd, we have the Lake Bluff Middle School movie night, or movie afternoon. It starts right at 3:45 after we dismiss. Kids are welcome to hang around. The student council is going to be picking the movie. We haven't landed on a final decision yet, but we put it up on the jumbo screen in the gym. It's a nice opportunity for kids to just relax a little bit together on a Friday afternoon. I'm the popcorn guy, and I do a pretty good job if I do say so myself. Going forward, we have also our spring concerts. May 13th is the band concert. May 14th will be the chorus concert. looking forward to the Springfield trip. We're going to be departing bright and early on Friday morning, May 16th, returning on May 17th. And then finally, the 8th grade Project Citizen hearings, the public hearings for parents to come and take a look at the hard work of our 8th grade social studies class. That's going to be happening on May 21st at 7 o'clock. That's all I have, so thank you very much.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it. Moving on, 7D, the President's Report. I'm going to focus on a brief update. I haven't given you guys an update on my role as the NSSED representative on their governing board. Going to try to keep this brief. Probably the biggest, most recurring issue we seem to be talking about at NSSED meetings is their own version of the fund balance policy, which we've spent some time talking about. We're on like the 4th or 5th reading of policy and draft that keeps getting sent back. It keeps getting sent back a lot for kind of vagueness of language and how they're going to what are they going to do if we dip below or a fund balance? They seem to have settled on a fund balance criteria of about 15 to 18%. Plenty of people think it should be lower. Some people don't understand why it's 15 to 18%, but that seems to be what everybody's agreed on. Lower than ours because they're one step removed from the taxpayers. And so it's been sent to draft several times, and it's going to come back, and hopefully that'll get approved soon. There was concerns about, how much are we on the hook for fund balance as a district if there was a catastrophic event in their buildings or in their with their students, and there's a big payout required, but they're covered for that with their liability insurance, so it's not really something we need to be concerned with. So that's good. That goes back and forth and is hotly debated. They spent quite a bit of time presenting to us their second draft budget. They do 3 draft budgets for us, I believe, before they do a final budget. And they expect to, despite declining enrollment, to balance all their budgets. All the drafts are already balanced, even though they're only in the second revision. Membership rates will be held flat for next year. They're going to be making cuts. Cost cutting is pretty much at the center of all these budgeting discussions we have at NSSED. They realize that there's fewer students, and I believe I mentioned this to you before. There is one of the districts has submitted their letter to pull out. That's North Shore District 112, which is the Highland Park K-8. So that's affecting finances at NSSED. So that's part of that whole budget conversation. NSSED is going through its own contract negotiations. It has 2 unions, one with teachers and one with support staff that both expire at the end of this academic year. And we've gotten some updates in closed session, so I can't share all the details, but things are going well. And when they do finalize, which I expect that to happen pretty soon, I'll share some actually good information that we might benefit from learning some of what went down with them. So that's all positive. They've spent a lot of time talking about their goals. As you know, they have a strategic plan, and they have some pretty lofty, big picture goals that they've been working toward. One of the things that they're constantly trying to do is find ways that the districts can take more advantage of the things that they offer. And one of their goals has to do with what they call coaching, taking their experts in their different fields and offering coaching to the districts, as well as internally for their own. And it's an area they've got to set a big goal, and they are moving toward that. They also do have another goal in the area of family and community partnerships, where they are working with organizations in the community. One in particular comes to mind in Glenview called Wagner Farms, I believe it is, where they have actual classes held at this working farm, and they have kids harvesting and planting and learning all parts of the agricultural cycle there. And so it's an interesting example of how they can help put practical application to the things they teach in the classroom. Other goals that they're working on have to do with communication, just like us. They are also have what they refer to as legislation and educational policy goals, where they look at themselves as our advocate at the state level for special education legislation. Their superintendent is often called to consult with at the state level with things that affect co-ops in the state. They are including another goal has to do with student performance. They're including student performance in their teacher evaluations, as are we, and so they're moving forward in that. And they've also instituted recently a new HR and finance, spent a big chunk of money on a new financial system. I forget the name of that system, but it's a pretty cutting edge system that they seem to
Infinite Vision.
Yeah, and so they've fully implemented
That is scary for finance.
fully implemented.
Infinite Vision.
And then just concluding with, there's a lot that goes on at these meetings. A lot of it is stuff that I don't need to report back to you on. They often do a little dog and pony show where they talk about what they're doing for their students, and they recognize people as we do as well. But also I wanted to let you know that Gene and I do continue to have conversations with District 67 and 115, and talking in kind of big picture issues about our future and our relationship with NSSCD in general. So as more develops in those areas, we'll keep you guys posted. And if there's no other questions, I'll move to Gene's President's Report. What did I say? Gene's Superintendent's Report, sorry.
Gene's Superintendent's Report. I'm going to follow along in the theme and talk a little bit about Annie. And just say not only was the musical spectacular, the kids were fantastic, the dog was even fantastic if you were in it. The pictures that you see, if you look on our website and see these really cool pictures where Annie's lit up, that was done by our very own Nate Blackmer, who played around with his photography. It was just spectacular, and the kids going from the elementary school really were excited. They were well behaved. I was very proud of them. But I also wanted to share with you one of the community things that I love about this community is the police were all out with their cars, with their supportive police officers helping our kids cross. It was very organized, and I shared that with Drew to share with the police force. They just, Captain Belmonte really, really did a good job for us with that. We're obviously working on wrapping up this year and really having a smooth finish. Our final day after you vote tonight will be Friday, June 6th, which will be an early release day, and that's barring the fact we don't have any more snow days. We're very, very busy planning for next year at this point, finalizing our summer school plans, and then we did get the results of our compliance visit, which was outstanding. And actually we did not have anything listed in areas of non-compliance or concern, and the comment was staff are to be commended for their work in preparing for this compliance review. Materials were well organized, which greatly aided the reviewers. Questions posed by the reviewers were answered promptly. Nice job. And Joanne and Kevin are really the ones that set the structure, and then Jane and I jumped in with the administrators and with Jane Pratt, and we really got everything organized and done, and it was smooth, so we don't get reviewed again for another 4 or 5 years. And the last thing I wanted to just say is that, as you know, my secretary Jane has decided, against my better judgment, to move to Denver. And my new secretary or administrative assistant, Terry Simon, is here. So if you have not met her, introduce yourself on the way out. I really look forward to working with her. And we're going to keep Jane on over the summer to get us caught up with policy. So we're really, by the time September rolls around, we're going to be organized and ready to go and caught up. So thank you, Jane, for your service. Thank you, Terry. And that concludes my report.
Appreciate it.
All right, so we're going to move on to action items. And we have a bunch of them, and we're going to go through them quick. 8A, approval of the amended budget. If you recall, we had our budget hearing briefly at the beginning at 6:45 tonight, and we amended the budget per state requirements because we are moving some money around to pay help me out, what's the right word? The payoff
debt
bond,
service.
the debt service and the bonds,
And the park
as well as some money to
district.
the park district. So may I have a motion to approve the amended budget for the 2013-2014 as included in your board packet?
So moved.
Second.
I'll give that to Christine in a second. Okay, we have a roll call vote, please.
Mugberry.
Yes.
Leanne Charlotte.
Yes.
Julie Gottschall.
Yes.
Richard Haig.
Yes.
Christine Leistringer, yes. John Morosen.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
That would be 7 in favor of, so that is approved. Item 8B, approval of contract extension with Olson Transportation. Jane, can you just give us a 2-second overview of that one?
Sure, we presented this to the board of the committee the whole meeting a couple months ago. It's a 2.8% increase, and Lake Forest 115 and 67 are recommending the same approvals in their boards.
And last time we met, you shared a number I thought was really meaningful. The last time we saved, what did you say? Would our cost would have been double had we not bid this with Lake Forest?
If we don't share buses, we split buses, the cost of them 50-50 with District 115. If we went out on our own, then essentially our cost would double.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't at the last meeting. I did read the information though, but just give me a sense of how many more kids are using the bus this year over last year.
I know we added a route. I think we're up about 100 kids. Don't know if I can remember correctly from when we discussed.
And we expect that.
We added a bus.
We expect that to continue next year.
I don't know. I think it kind of shakes out pretty good this year. I don't anticipate a huge increase next year.
But the ones that have added the bus will stay on the bus.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Can I have a motion to approve the contract extension with Olson Transportation for 2014-2015?
So,
Second.
And a second. Okay. Christine, roll call, please.
Leanne Charlotte,
Yes.
Rudy Gotchel,
Yes.
Richard Haig,
Yes.
Christine Ledgehead, yes, John Rosen.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes?
Mark Berry.
Yes. That's 7. All in favor. It's approved. Item 8C, approval of bid for custodial services. Jane, you want to go through that one real quick too?
Sure, we did this periodically along with District 115 and 67. However, these contracts are bid separately. We're just hoping to get some discounted for volume of the 3 districts going together. GCA is our current provider. We're extremely happy with them, and we are extremely happy that they came in as the low bid, and so we're recommending to give the contract to GCA.
At $251,219.
Which is a cost savings over the current contract.
And this is for how many years?
This is for 1 year, but we will have the option to extend it
Okay.
next year.
Any other questions? Can I have a motion to approve the bid in the amount of $251,219.26 from GCA for custodial services for the 2014-2015 school year?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Julie Gotchel,
Yes.
Richard Haig,
Yes.
Chris Ledgehead, yes, John Rosen.
Yes.
Susan Ryder,
Yes?
Mark Berry,
Yes.
Leanne Charlotte.
Yes.
That is approved. Moving on to item 8D, approval of ratification of the LBTC Lake Bluff Teachers Council contract. And just to set that one up, we're talking about an extension of the existing contract, rather than negotiating. Due to all the changes in our education world right now, in education, the pension reform, and with new staff coming on, the board and the staff believe that it is in the best interest of everybody, teachers and the district, to work together with our union to set up a series of monthly meetings where we discuss all of the issues that need to be discussed for future contracts, get to know our counterparts on the union, and plan this out in a very thoughtful and deliberate manner. So the contract is a rollover. It is a 1-year extension. It includes a 3% increase on average across the board, which is consistent with the 3 years that we've had this contract in place already. It includes an update to the extra duty salary schedules, which are the things like lunchroom duty, pickup and drop-off supervision, things like that. And I think most importantly, as I said, it includes language committing both the union and the board to regular meetings throughout the year to develop a strong working relationship, as well as a thorough understanding of all the issues. Did I cover it, Jim?
You covered it very well, and the big ticket issues are insurance, salary compensation, so we can move more towards the CPI level, work year, work time, and developing the relationships so that negotiations go smoothly next year.
So, if anybody has any other questions, I'm going to go ask for a motion to approve. May I have a motion to approve the ratification of the Lake Bluff Teachers?
One quick question. The teachers have already reviewed this,
Teachers have they did their vote last week and have approved. They
Okay.
voted on Thursday of last week and had 100% approval.
Unanimously, right? Okay.
For the people that voted yes. Good question.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the ratification of the Lake Bluff Teachers Council contract as included in your board packet?
So moved.
Second.
A roll call vote, please, Christine.
Richard Haig,
Yes.
Chris Letchinger, yes. John LaRosen,
Yes.
Susan Ryder,
Yes.
Mark Berry,
Yes.
Leanne Charlo,
Yes.
Julie Gotchall.
Yes.
The motion is approved. Okay, moving on. Item 8E, approval of the amended calendar / last day of school for 2013-2014. Jean, can you just give a summary of that, please?
Yes, the amended calendar that you see in your packet shows makeup days for the 4 snow days that we took this year. Makeup days were February 17th, April 21st, and May 23rd. Also reflects the June 6th as the last day of school for students, which will also be an early release day. Just for your information, the staff is required to report to work on Monday, June 9th, because they still have one more contractual day.
Questions or comments? May I have a motion to approve the amended calendar / last day of school for the 2013-2014 year?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Chris Letchinger, yes. John LaRosen,
Yes.
Susan Ryder,
Yes.
Mark Berry,
Yes.
Leanne Charlo,
Yes.
Julie Gotchall,
Yes.
Richard Haig.
Yes.
Motion's approved. The next,
Bless you.
Is that an approval or a denial?
that threw me off.
Not a comment at all.
So the next 4 items, we're going to be approving various field trips at the different schools at different grades, 5th through 8th.
Can we lump all those guys together?
We could, but it's been asked before to separate them in case somebody has an issue with one of the field trips.
Anybody
Does anybody have an issue
have
with any of
Yes.
them?
If any, you can lump them all
a
together.
lump?
Yeah.
No issue.
So may I have a
So
motion
it's
to
F,
lump
G,
these?
H, and I.
Can I have a motion to lump agenda item 8F, G, H, and I into one motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, may I have a motion to approve 4 field trips? Approval of the 5th grade outdoor education field trip, approval of the 6th grade spring field trip, approval of the 7th grade outdoor education field trip, and approval of the 8th grade Washington DC trip.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
I did say, I did ask for voice, roll call. Do we need roll call?
Yeah,
probably should
we're
just-
spending money, we're
Discussion,
spending
get
money.
discussion for
Okay.
this for a minute.
Do we have any discussion that anybody wants to raise?
I have a question. The last time we talked about these, we were talking about that ski trip too. What happened to that?
Didn't happen.
Ski trip is no longer existent in
Not
our
a part
district.
of the school districts. Okay,
Didn't happen this year.
not, okay.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
John LaRosen,
Yes.
Susan Ryder,
Yes.
Mark Berry,
Yes.
Leanne Charlo,
Yes.
Julie Gotchall,
Yes.
Richard Haig,
Yes.
Chris Letchinger, yes.
The motion is approved for all 4 items. Moving on, item 8J, approval of the Lake Bluff Park District Settlement Agreement. And just to refresh everybody's memory, briefly, this has to do with a $65,000 payment to the Park District to fulfill commitments from a prior agreement, which involved the district paying $65,000, where we had agreed to pay for the construction of a parking lot, which never happened. So we owe them this money, and we've met and discussed it and worked out the contract to make that happen.
It's a
It was $60,000.
Oh, did I say 65? I apologize. That was my notes, not the packet.
Yeah, that's not be too generous.
No.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the settlement agreement with the Lake Bluff Park District, subject to attorney review and approval?
So move.
Second.
Second. Roll call vote, please.
Susan Ryder,
Yes.
Mark Berry,
Yes.
Leanne Charlo,
Yes.
Julie Gotchall,
Yes.
Richard Haig,
Yes.
Christine Letchinger, yes. John LaRosen.
Yes.
The motion is approved. Item 8K. Approval of the superintendent's contract and goals. I want to bring everybody up to speed. We've had many conversations as a board on this, and we have offered our superintendent a 5-year contract effective May 1. This includes a 10% base salary increase from $183,000 to $202,000. It increases Dr. Sophie's vacation days 5 days and increases her term life insurance from $150,000 to about 2 times her salary. I also want to point out that the board, over my term on the board, has heard much concern from the community about stability among the administration in this district. And I am personally proud to bring this to the community as a way to show how we are specifically addressing the stability concerns of members of the community and of offering Jean this 5-year contract. So I'd like to open up any questions, comments, and concerns from the board, or we can go right to the vote.
I would just like to add that the 10% to some may seem a rather large increase, but from our perspective in reviewing it, we determined that it really brought Jean up to the lower end of what would normally be expected or what is experienced on the North Shore. So it was not unreasonable in our perception.
I echo that. I'd just also like to point out, how thrilled we are to have this opportunity to extend this contract, and our appreciation to Mark and Jean for having worked through this, attorneys and others over the last several weeks. I think it does really serve the community exceptionally well. So we're thrilled to have it.
Anybody else? Can I have a motion to approve the superintendent's employment contract and goals dated May 1st, 2014 to April 30th, 2019?
So moved.
Second. Roll call vote, please.
Mark Beard,
Yes.
Leanne Charlo,
Yes.
Julie Gotchell,
Yes.
Richard Hay,
Yes.
Chris Letchinger, yes, Jennifer Rosen,
Yes.
Susan Wright.
Yes.
The motion's approved.
Thank you.
I'm very excited. Thank you.
Glad you're staying.
Enthusiastic, yes.
Thank you very much.
All right. Another good item. Item 8L, a motion. This is about the approval of to reemploy our administrators, and specifically we're talking about reemploying our middle school principal, Mr. Nate Blackmer, our director of special services, Dr. Kevin Rubenstein, and our assistant principal at Lake Bluff Elementary School, Tracy Rorick.
Can we group this together too?
It is.
Yeah.
It is
So
all
they
one.
are.
It's all as one.
Never.
And just, or we can
Now we get our
and just to make sure we're upfront with everybody, this includes a 3% increase to all those contracts, and they are effective this May 1st.
Yes.
Correct? Anything else I should say?
Just what a wonderful job the three of them
Oh,
have
yeah.
done.
That goes without saying. Well, otherwise we wouldn't do this.
They are just a very professional group of people that give a lot of themselves and are, number one, very child-centered. So I just appreciate working with all of them and look forward to continuity in our team.
Yes, it's all good. May I have a motion to approve the administrator's contracts for Nathan Blackmer, Tracy Rorick, and Kevin Rubenstein dated May 1, 2014 to June 30th, 2015?
So moved.
Second. All in, we have a roll call vote, please.
Leanne Charlo,
Yes.
Julie Gotchell.
Yes.
Richard Hay,
Yes.
Chris Letchinger, yes, Jennifer Rosen,
Yes.
Susan Ryder,
Yes.
Mark Beard.
Yes, that's all in favor. That is approved. Thank you. Thank you for staying. Item 8M, approval of Jay Khan's contract. And that is a very simple one. We need to change the title that was originally set up in that contract so the titling is consistent with the requirements of the teacher's retirement system. It has to be worded a specific way to get in their system. Any questions or comments? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the amended contract for Mr. Jay Khan to reflect the change in title due to Director of Finance and Operations / CSBO?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Julie Gotchell,
Yes.
Richard Hay,
Yes.
Chris Letchinger, yes, Jennifer Rosen,
Yes.
Susan Ryder,
Yes.
Mark Beard,
Yes.
Leanne Charlo.
Yes.
Who was it?
Motion's approved. Who was second? Anybody? Susan?
I think I was.
We'll give it to you, I guess.
Pay attention.
You went.
Yeah, you start getting into the zone with these, so many of them. Item 8N, approval of Amendment 1 to the 2013-2014 Dr. Kevin Steen, Dr. Kevin Sorry. So everybody is aware, the board would like, the district and the board would like to offer Dr. Rubenstein, Dr. Kevin Steen, a bonus in the amount of $5,000 in recognition for not only for his tremendous amount of work that he's put in this year, but in recognition for completing his doctoral program very recently at Loyola, correct? And so we would like to put that forth. Questions, comments, concerns?
I think he not only completed, he was awarded, right?
Yes.
And it was an interesting dissertation topic. I read the PowerPoints, you know.
Although some board members said that they read it on the plane so that they could see that.
Well, thank you for not mentioning my name.
On behalf
So may I have a motion to approve Amendment 1 to Dr. Rubenstein's 2013-2014 contract?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call please.
Julie Gutschall.
Yes.
Richard Hay.
Yes.
Chris Hutchinger, yes. Jen Rosen.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Leanne Charlotte.
Yes.
Motion's approved. Item 8O, approval of Amendment 2 to the 2012-2016 Dr. Sophie contract. Now to give you guys, everybody some background here. This is the second and final amendment to Jean's current contract, which is going to expire at the end of April, because she's starting a new 5-year contract effective May 1. Her first amendment was to extend her contract for 1 year. The second amendment, which we're addressing today, is to offer Jean a bonus as a reward for meeting and or exceeding all of her goals, and to also move Dr. Sophie towards salary parity with her North Shore superintendent peers. We're proposing a bonus in the amount of $20,000, and as a reward for a hell of a great job for the past 2 years.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions, comments, or concern?
So it's a 1 year proposal, right? It doesn't continue from
It
year to
doesn't
year.
compound.
It's
No,
a
it does
single
And
one
it doesn't
time.
commit to anything in the future.
I think we've gotten a lot done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I appreciate
Amazing
the
work.
many hours that you've
Yeah.
put in to make that happen.
It's well
Thank you.
deserved.
Yeah.
Anybody else? We have a motion to approve Amendment 2 to Dr. Sophie's 2012-2016 contract.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Richard Hay.
Yes.
Christine Leitchinger, yes. Jen Rosen.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Leanne Charlotte.
Yes.
Julie Gotcha.
Yes.
The motion is passed. Okay. Item 8P, approval of policy second read for policy 7:340 student records as presented in your board packet. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns about that policy?
I just wanted to let a couple of you know that we're not here at the last meeting. This is really mandatory for us to update prior to our registration packet going out. And I did check so that our last meeting constituted a first read on that policy. So this can now be official after this unless there's any changes to be made to it.
So do we need to reword it? Okay, say approval of policy second read.
Approval of policy second read.
Anybody?
I'd love to make a motion for this policy changes.
Okay.
I
Second?
need a second.
I have a second.
Thank you.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Chris Leitchinger, yes. Jen Rosen.
Yes.
Susan Ryder.
Yes.
Mark Berry.
Yes.
Leanne Charlotte.
Yes.
Julie Gotcha.
Yes.
Richard Hay.
Yes.
Okay, motion's approved. Agenda item 8Q, approval of personnel report. On our personnel report tonight, we have 2 items, I believe. One is the 2 resignations, one for Colleen Bucalo at the elementary school. She's a 2nd grade teacher, and that's effective June 6th of this year, 2014. The second is for Lindsay Hughes at the elementary school. She's a multi-age teacher, also effective June 6th, 2014. Anything you want to add to that?
I just wanted to thank both of them for their years of service to the district. Both of them have new life experiences that they're going for, so we want to thank them for their loyalty and all of their work with kids in our district. There will be, we are having a recognition and retirement party, our first annual at the end of the month, and I don't, for the life of me, have the date in my head.
It's the end of May.
It's the end of May.
22nd.
May 22nd.
Thursday.
Where we'll be honoring not
3:30.
only those people retiring, but the people that are leaving also, so.
Thank you, Chris.
So may I have a motion to approve the personnel report dated April 22nd, 2014, as presented by the administration?
Second.
Roll call, please.
John Rosen,
Yes.
Susan Ryder,
Yes.
Mark Barry,
Yes.
Leanne Charlo,
Yes.
Julie Gottrell,
Yes.
Richard Haig,
Yes.
Chris Letchinger, yes.
Okay, motion's approved. Item 8R, approval of the consent.
Susan,
Who's the
right?
second?
John.
John. Okay, item 8R, approval of the consent agenda. And are there any items on this consent agenda that anybody wants to pull out before we go through this? So, in tonight's consent agenda, I forget how we were going to do this. I wasn't going to read all, was I? What's on there? Okay, everything is in the board packet. There are 8 items in tonight's consent agenda, and it can all be viewed online in the board packet. And due to prior discussion with the board, I will not be reading each one individually. So may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda for April 22nd, 2014, as presented by the
So
administration?
moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Susan Ryder,
Yes.
Mark Barry,
Yes.
Leanne Charlo,
Yes.
Julie Gottrell, Richard Haig,
Yes.
Chris Letchinger, yes. John Rosen.
Yes.
Motion is passed. That's it for our action items. We wanted to talk about the Park District.
Yes, you need to talk about your committee.
My committee?
Well, the committee that we have to talk about, it's the land use.
Yeah, there's a land use committee being established by the Park District that is going to be up and running very soon to discuss the future of a number of their properties. And they want to involve people from each of the boards in the village as well as the library committee members. And so we need somebody from the board to volunteer for that committee. They'll be meeting, they expect, once a month for a couple of years.
I believe I said that I would do it if nobody else was clamoring to do it. I've been looking for clamorers and I don't see any, so I will volunteer to be that board representative. Do you know, are the meetings in the evening?
I think they will.
Good.
Yeah, I would expect they would. They have done it in the past.
Good, I look forward to working with the other boards.
Kevin has told me that he will be seeing you this weekend and will fill you in on all the details.
Good, I look forward to that.
So, our web.
Dr. Kevin, son?
No, not.
That's gonna stick now, you know.
It's done,
Wait till the kids hear that name.
So to the Park District, we have your new member, right there.
Thank you.
And, yes, thanks a lot, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Then finally, we'd like to open it up to any public comment. If anybody would like to address the board, please feel free to do so. And if not, if anybody at home would like to address the board, all our contact information is on the web. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us or the administration. Anything else you want to raise? We're going to adjourn to a place that serves adult beverages afterwards to celebrate Gene's new contract.
All of you are
If
invited.
anybody would like to join us. If any of these places are open, hopefully there's some open.
It's early. We
Oh, yes,
They haven't rolled up the sidewalks yet.
Motion to adjourn so we can.
May we have a motion to adjourn?
I so moved.
Second.
Enthusiastic second.
All in favor of adjourning at 7:54.